Last time on Square Roots, Cloud goes gaga for terrible music. We learn that reactors are only for boys. And later, Square presents us with its very own version of Would You Eat This Bird? Say goodnight, Purpley!
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zandt. I almost called you Michael Van Zandt.
That would be weird. I think it's time that we change the name of this show.
Okay.
What do you think about Square Toots?
How about Titty Time?
How about Square Poots?
How
Why would
about
it be
Vanessa
tea time?
and the Boys?
Yeah, I like Vanessa
Okay.
and the Boys. That's good.
I don't.
No, Vanasti and the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of do like that one, but I would prefer it if it's like Vanasti and the Dudes.
How about Vanasti's
yeah.
Boys?
Vanasty's Boys.
Vanasti. But then it makes it sound like Vanasti's not going to be on the show.
Maybe I won't.
Oh, that's true.
Oh. Also joined by John Gears and Gambits Brandon.
Ugh.
What? Gears and Gambits?
Gears and Gambits?
What's that?
Did you not play Gears and Gambits this
No,
chunker?
he skipped.
All right. Well, we'll get there.
I played the chunker. I just didn't do anything
Didn't do the side
Chadley
stuff.
asked me to do.
It's the proto relic. It's the proto relic.
Yeah, it's a proto
quest.
relic quest.
Oh,
It sucked.
Okay. I would have played
Also
more
joined by Vanessa.
yesterday, but
Hi.
Matt guilted me into
Vanasti.
on the streaming.
Vanasti.
I didn't guilt you. I said it would be nice if John showed up.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be nice. That's like my mom. It would be nice if you showed up, but I understand.
Yeah, well, now I've roped you in, and you're a weekly contributor. That's how
Nope.
this works. Oh,
You had a lovely time, Johnny. Don't front.
I did.
it's a lot of fun. We had so much fun that I looked up and Jim was in the future in Chrono Trigger because I was not paying attention.
I got through a lot of Chrono Trigger last night.
I think that in
lot
the
of it.
future, we're going to need you to be the story boy that's telling us what's going on.
Yeah, you need
Well,
to like give us
I kept
updates.
trying to interject, and then you'd be like, "Oh, you're in the trial now," haha, and then you start talking about like politics or something again.
Did we talk about politics? Ooh.
Yeah, we sure
You did.
Sorry about that.
No, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Somebody was like, "Get off your soapbox," and I was like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Because you made me look
I
at
should
Reddit.
also. Oh yeah. I should also remind our listeners that this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. I will say, before we started recording, we all resolved to be extra efficient with our time, and we have so far not been doing that.
Hey, we're
So-
still allowed to have fun. We're just not going to do a 30-minute hot gaming news followed by a 30-minute level up.
Hey, speaking of hot gaming news, is there anything to talk about this week?
Nope.
Oh gosh,
Moving
is
on.
there?
Did you hear about that
It's
Switch
all
2?
bad news. Is it all bad news?
No, Nintendo has finally announced that they're going to announce the Switch 2 sometime in the next year.
They pre-announced their announcement.
I actually
that will happen
appreciate them
sometime in
doing
the
that
next
because
year.
so many fucking people were like, it's Switch 2 definitely stealth dropping this year. A lot of dumb takes on the internet. What do you want from me?
We also got a Dread Wolf release range.
Ooh,
really?
When is that?
Oh yeah, the end of Q1 of 2025.
Wow, so a year
Can't wait.
from now.
That's fair.
Yeah, they said that's the latest it will come out, and they
Okay.
gave March 31st, which is the final day of the quarter. So we'll see what happens.
Microsoft shut down a lot more studios, like Arcane Austin, which blows. I mean, they did make Redfall, which looks terrible, but they did make Prey, which is one of my favorite games.
Yeah, why buy these things and shut them down? Why buy
Yeah,
them?
it's not even
What are
the
you
first
doing?
time they've done this. It's like a cycle with Microsoft.
But they also
Let's
shut
buy a
down.
studio, ruin it, and shut it down.
They shut down the ones that made Evil Within and What are they called?
John, that's actually that was Hi-Fi Rush, but the name of that studio is Tango GameWorks.
yeah, they also made
that's
Evil
run
Within.
by Evil Within. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
run by Shinji Mikami, the famous like Resident Evil director. He actually just a couple months ago announced that he is making his own studio. And according to some people on the internet, when they shut that studio down, Tango, apparently a lot of the people were already gone from there anyway because they had followed Mikami to his new studio.
I mean, I think that was true for Arcane Austin as well. Like the Redfall development was notoriously troubled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Matt, you kind of like that. What was it? Tokyo After School Summoners? No, that's something else.
Tokyo Ghost.
Tokyo Ghost Drift.
Yeah,
no.
Tokyo
That's
Ghost
not it.
Drift.
Definitely not the name of it. I did like that game.
Ghost Sessions?
Nope.
Tokyo Haunted Streets.
The one that had Jim, you played it too with the like.
I did. I played the whole thing.
Yeah, I did like that game. I didn't finish it. I liked it though. It was good.
What is that game called? Ghostwire Tokyo.
That's
Tokyo,
it. That
was good.
it.
All right, well, that sucks, but we don't need to dwell on it. There's nothing we can do about it. Johnny, you had some rant you wanted to go on.
Oh, yeah. I've got Johnny's rant corner. It'll be like, remember that guy on 60 Minutes, Andy
Rooney.
Andy's soapbox.
Here's Johnny's soapbox. So people are saying that Squaresoft's... I don't know if you had a New York accent. I can't keep it up. People say that Squaresoft is losing millions and millions of dollars last year because of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sales not meeting expectations. Now, Square has not said Final Fantasy Rebirth sales have not met expectations, and they've sold like 2 million, 1.5 million, 2 million in the first few weeks. That game did pretty well considering. It didn't do as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake because a remake came out on the PS4. The PS4 had
and the PC eventually.
Well, but at that point, like in its opening month, Remake had like 5 times as many potential buyers as the PS5 game does, because there's way more people in 2020 with a PS4 than in 2024 with a PS5. And it's the second in the series, and it's not going to cost as much because it's built on the same technology, which I think is a good idea. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And maybe actually the thing that's losing Square money is how they doubled down on fucking NFTs. Remember, they're like, no, we're still going forward with our NFT deal. It's gonna be great. Everyone loves. Like they said that in 2023 that they're still going forward with NFTs. Like, well after
they're
that,
doubling down.
Yeah, well after that shit crashed.
Well, they also have admitted that limiting themselves to just the PlayStation is hurting their bottom line.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that in a way because my brother was really excited he played Remake and he was really excited for Rebirth, and then he realized that it is PS5 only and he's not buying a PS5 for one fucking game.
Yeah, my
Is it
friend
forever
that
PS5 only?
No, it's probably
It's like a year of exclusivity, I think.
It'll come to PC. Will it come to Xbox? I don't know.
Never.
Though it sounds like they're going to try to loosen up on that. So
yeah, I read today that they are thinking of porting the new Hellblade game, which is like a big flagship Game Pass Day 1 game, to PS5.
Yeah, well, I think both of these. I don't know.
I see what you're saying. It's like
in a way,
Sonoa's...
exclusives sell the consoles. There doesn't seem to be much of a difference anymore. But also, I don't know, like neither of them, and particularly both of them with their live servicey passes that you pay for and get a bunch of their first-party games free.
But I'm sure also
a month ain't
Sony
helping
paid
Microsoft, I guess.
Paid Square to like help develop. Probably gave them some money to release it only on PS5.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Which they bought the exclusivity. Anyway, does anyone else have HGN?
I don't think so. You guys want to level up?
Yeah.
Vanessa?
Leveling up.
I'll go first.
No, you won't.
It'll be short and sweet.
No.
I went fishing for a whole weekend, and then I'm growing out my mustache, so I have a mustache now.
Why is your face sad?
Yeah. Vanessa did a little drawing of Matt and I for our stream thumbnail, and I thought she drew me as looking really sad, but she just drew my mustache on my face. And I also downloaded a new game on my Steam Deck today called Crow Country. It's a little throwback to like PS1 survival horror games. It just came out today or yesterday, I think, and so far it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's like got little cute, like fat-looking character models, but it's like a horror game. It's really fun. John, how did you level up?
Well, I leveled up by I finished the script to my next video, my next Open Worlds, Kubert Opens Worlds video, or COW series, where I'm reviewing and ranking every single open world game, which is an actual, like, there's like 30 of them. So this is something I can accomplish in my lifetime. Open world drivey shooty game, like Grand Theft Auto clone. So I played through Driver 3. I wrote the script. My friends helping me do some revisions on it before I record, and I'm excited to do that. Driver 3.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. And then I've also been working on. I'm going to start doing like a series of shorts, more on queer history, like as part of the Bears and Games side of things.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, like, well, queer history and gaming. And the first one I'm going to do is on, I don't know, have you ever played Streets of Rage 3? Any of you?
I don't think so.
Nah.
It was like
Maybe,
a late
but
Genesis game. It came out in like 93, 94.
I was a Genesis boy, but I couldn't say for sure.
In the Japanese version, there's like a leather man who's also wearing like a singlet and fishnet stockings and high heels, and runs like I do when I'm crossing the street. Vanessa knows what that's a reference to.
Like a sort of a frolic.
Yeah, with arms to the side, waving in a panic. And it's super homophobic, but I also love it. And I'm going to talk about how sometimes bad representation is still representation.
Yeah.
And, you know, in 94, it was really crazy that you could, in Japanese versions of the games, and I don't know how I must have got the ROM, because I played as him years ago, and I thought it was fascinating. So it must have been a ROM thing. Anyway, so that's sort of what I've been doing, working on my projects. You can tell when I'm feeling good because I'm working on my personal projects. I'm sure you all have the same feeling. Like when you're vibing, when you're feeling good, you're like, I'm gonna be productive and do cool things. And I got a good tax refund.
I'm gonna bully Jim into streaming with me.
Mm-hmm.
I drew that.
And then I'm gonna bully
of
Johnny
Scrooge
into joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna bully Vanessa into joining us.
Good tax refund, so I think I might get a countertop dishwasher where you put in, like, it's got a little hole at the top that you put in water, and then it drains out into your sink, and it just so you can wash dishes without having to actually do them yourself.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
Sounds like a nice treat.
Speaking of nice treats, let's hear how Vanessa leveled up.
Oh, well, I finished playing a game called Spiritfarer.
I heard that game was woke because it was made in Canada, where the Canadian government makes you make it woke.
Yes, after I finished it, I was looking at information about the game, and Metacritic popped up, and the preview thing said, "Oh, this game is pretty good, but it has one woke moment that I guess they had to put in because they got money from the Canadian government, so they had to make it woke." And of course, the woke storyline they're talking about is one character who occasionally mentions her deceased wife. Too woke.
Stop shoving your gayness down my throat.
Spiritfarer is sort of a resource gatherer, town builder kind of game. It's about helping people move from purgatory to the afterlife. And it looks very cartoony. It's full of cartoony animals, but it's very adult. They talk about how they had affairs when they were alive, dealing with cancer, dealing with death. I enjoyed it a lot, but I would say it's not for everyone. If you're sensitive about those kind of issues, give it a wide berth, because it goes there. I liked it.
So not a game to play while I'm
Reeve.
stoned and it'll ruin me.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
It's like
I
I tried to play
it.
Fire Watch one night when
Firewatch.
I was a little
yep.
intoxicated, and I made it like 30 minutes in, and I was like, I hate this. It's all about his dead wife.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Definitely has some elements of that for sure.
Or me in that last episode of The Good Place that I'll never watch again.
Yeah. Yep. And who hasn't gone? Matt? Matt, how did you level up?
It's me. It's me, I'm Matt, and I'm gonna level up, and since you all took such a short time, I'm gonna go ahead and take my fucking sweet time, baby.
Oh, no. He
He's gonna
tricked
talk
us.
about X-Men.
Vanessa,
again.
you want to talk about X-Men? Boy, that
Oh,
new
yeah.
X-Men episode was
Wait,
real
hold on.
good.
First, Matt, I have a question for you. Is the new X-Men episode good?
I just said it was.
Is it good? Okay, great. Moving on.
No,
Thanks, Matt, for your level
listen
up.
with your ears. You know what, Vanessa? I'll tell you what. We're going to put a pin in this because next week is the finale. Next week is going to be a fucking X-Men episode.
Yep. We'll discuss.
All right.
We'll discuss all of our thoughts and feelings.
I did have one thing that I wanted to talk about, which is that I started playing a new game. Not a new game, but a new to Game Pass game called Bolt Gun.
Oh.
Who knows
is it
about
good?
Bolt Gun?
I know about Bugenhagen. It's a Warhammer game.
It's a Warhammer 40K first-person shooter. It's a boomer shooter. It's all like Doom style with 2D sprites for enemies and like a rough 3D world. And it is fun as fuck. It is so good. I can't believe how much fun I'm having playing this game. It's very much a throwback, and in a lot of ways that really makes me enjoy it more. Like, I love a good first-person shooter, but like to kind of see, like, is Johnny frozen or is he just frozen? No, he's not frozen.
He's looking around.
He just
He has
now he
perfect
is.
muscle control.
He didn't move for like 2 minutes. He didn't even blink. Anyway, so it is very much like a Doom style shooter. Just like get the key to move on, kill all the enemies on the level, find the secrets, which are just power-ups.
Is it like
health
Doom
on the
looking
floor.
with like flat enemies? And
Yes,
like,
yeah, it's got
simple
2D
levels?
sprites for enemies. Now, the levels are 3D, though they're certainly, I would say it's kind of a mix between like Quake and Doom, because the levels remind me of Quake. They're definitely 3D, but the enemies and the pickups and the power-ups are all 2D sprites.
How slutty are the enemies?
I mean, it's Warhammer 40K, so they're either monsters or dudes in power armor.
Yeah.
But
Well, the orcs
it
can be
is. Yeah, there's no orcs so far.
Oh, come on.
It is really fun, and I would recommend anybody check it out if you're interested in like a classic shooter. I've heard of this boomer shooter thing. This is the first one I've really played, and I can't see myself playing, a million of these games, but certainly this one's on Game Pass, and it is a good, fun time. Like, you've got a chainsaw sword that you can use to chop up your enemies, and you've got a bolt gun, and obviously you get a shotgun, and a laser pistol, and blah, 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 blah. It's fucking fun. Every time, it's a good sit down and play a game for 30 minutes or an hour game, Like, just turn your brain off for a little bit. Lots of fun. Bolt Gun. It's on Game Pass. It is super fun. So check that out. And that's how I leveled up.
Bolt gun.
Wow, look at us.
That's
We're only
how
18
he
minutes into the show, and
leveled
we've
up.
already gone through hot gaming news and level ups.
Oh, have you seen
That means
your
we can
notes?
get right
They're
into
100
Cosmo
miles
Canyon
long.
Goodness. Yeah, this is a longer
Jim, did you
chunk,
catch
that's
any
why I'm never gonna do
catfish?
it.
That's all I need to know.
I didn't catch any. So the three fish I caught a largemouth bass, largemouth bath,
Largemouth bath?
largemouth bass, a smallmouth bass, and a carp. But my friend caught two catfish.
They
last night we
are
were there.
invasive species in the Great Lakes of Canada, and so we are encouraged to catch them, I guess.
They're yummy.
Oh,
Catch them and eat
the
them.
lake. Yeah, they are good. The lake I went to has a zebra mussel infestation right now. So
Oh, okay.
before I take my kayak out again tomorrow, I have to power wash it.
Is it covered in
The,
zebra
uh,
mussels?
Thank God you've got lots
No.
of practice simulating that on your Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. Actually, I was looking through my Xbox captures yesterday, and I found the one from when John and I were playing co-op Power Wash Simulator, and John went to the side of a house and just power washed Jim's socks into the side of it. Anyways, quest log time. Matt, sing us into the quest log.
It's the quest log. Welcome to the quest log. Quest log.
Chapter
Welcome
10,
to the
Watcher of the Veil.
Watcher
right.
of the Vale does sound like a hair metal album.
Yeah, it does. Or a Coheed and Cambria album.
Yeah,
Yeah, or a Coheed and
I'm going to say
Cambria.
more
Prog rock.
Coheed and Cambria.
Prog
rock.
rock. Yeah.
Could be a Rush album.
Yep.
So we're in Cosmo Canyon now. Remember Cosmo Canyon from the original? Wow, Cosmo Canyon.
I did start watching a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII just to kind of refresh myself on the plot because, as you may all remember, when we played it on the show was the first time I ever actually played the whole game, and I'd never really gotten much past the first disc in the past.
Vanessa too.
Oh, really? Oh, so
Yeah.
I did forget that. Huh. So now we're in Cosmo Canyon, and guess what we get to do? Lots of Chadley missions. So many Chadley missions.
You don't have
I didn't
to.
like this area. I'd like to go on the record as saying I didn't really like this area very much.
You were
didn't
really
like-
excited for it too.
Glide Day.
I liked
Chocobo?
I liked the music, but I did not like Glide de Chocobo, and I did not like the zigzagging flying shit we had to do to get places. I was trying to find that last proto relic thing for an hour.
Well, can you describe what you're talking about? So, as we've discussed on previous episodes, each area has a different type of chocobo, and they all have different traversal abilities. Last time it was Gongaga, and they could bounce off of mushrooms and slide along tree branches. This time we get flying chocobos. Mm-hmm. But they really don't fly, they glide, and there's fans in the air, and you have to point yourself at the fan and get blown back into the air. And there's a whole mini game called Glide to Chocobo where you have to fly through rings. And you know what? I'm just gonna come out and say
Wings.
it sucks. It's not good.
It's like Pilot. It's like a worse version of Pilot Wings. Remember
not good.
Pilot Wings?
Thankfully, it only makes you do that 3 times.
There's a mini game in Saints Row the Third's Professor Genki DLC that's exactly this. So I was like, well, at least I've practiced this quite a bit recently. So, but the only good reward was to finish all top scoring was the first one has a weapon for Yuffie, which is
I think that
a
those
weapon. I was gonna say, is that because in this game, if you miss picking up a weapon from a chest, it's going to be available at the next weapons dealer?
Oh.
Is this the case for that?
I don't know about for mini
is this...
games though.
Yeah, me
Who
either.
looks at the weapons dealer? They
I
never
do.
have anything new.
I do because
I always do.
in
I check
case
it every
miss-
time.
I haven't missed anything yet, but in case
I don't
miss
remember
anything.
missing anything, but at a certain point, I just kind of stopped checking. But I'll have to go look.
Anyway, I do think there's only 3 Glide to Chocobo tracks.
Obstacle, tracks.
And yes,
The first one took
second
me
and
goddamn
third.
forever.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense and it doesn't work very well. The second and third, basically the top tier stuff is just crafting bullshit. So who cares? But the first one, which thankfully is the easiest, does have a Yuffie weapon, which I think we all worked hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now to
wanted
navigate, as you were saying, you need is it a green chocobo? Are they green?
Yeah, they're green.
And Jim told me because you have to do a stealth mission, which
Wait, no, they're blue. Green was Gongaga. These are blue.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm
They're
notoriously
minty
bad
green and
at stealth, as Vanessa can attest to.
He's very bad.
Yeah.
It's not really stealth,
But Jim
Johnny.
told me to get this chocobo. Jim told me an actual thing you can do, which is to go behind the chocobo and then hold triangle down until it turns red, and then you put the plastic bag over the chocobo's head and just punch it until it chokes, and you
You're
crush
describing
its skull.
manhunt. You're describing manhunt murders.
I
Aren't you?
don't remember that.
John was very unhappy with this. I would say it's not really. I mean, it's stealth, but it's not really stealth. It is a puzzle.
This
Where
one
you
had
are
the
crouched and
minecarts
moving
where you
very
had to
slowly
follow
the whole time.
you had to stay behind
Yeah,
the
I
minecart.
didn't
In
realize-
between, you have to stay on the other side of the minecart from the chocobo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, it's
Yeah.
very generous with its auto saves in these things, which I did appreciate.
I didn't realize the chocobo. I thought you lost the second a chocobo spot. So you actually have 30 seconds to get back behind that minecart.
And they also introduced
it's not too
rocks
bad.
that you can throw to distract them. It's not bad. I mean, listen, I don't love that particular, which is a Chadley mission for some reason, but I don't love these particular missions, but also I don't find them hard.
Since John didn't
They
do the
just knock
Chadley
them out.
missions, yeah,
Oh, good news! You're going to be doing another one
you
next.
You can tell me.
First thing.
I do not care about spoiling.
Well, maybe we should go ahead and get that junk out of the way, or at least talk about the proto relic first.
Sure. Because each one's having keeps referencing. It's either going to be Yojimbo or Siegfried. It's one of the two characters in those cutscenes. Right?
So they have said now they're calling the proto relics you're collecting Genji. Which makes me think that it's going to be like a Genji glove that you can give Cloud, and then he's going to be walking around dual wielding giant swords.
Yeah.
Kind of like it. Yeah. But it probably will be something much more disappointing because that's been this whole game.
Wow.
Does he have a motorcycle with swords at the back, like in Advent Children?
That would be
God,
cool.
that's the dumbest thing. God, would it?
Yeah.
Would it be cool?
It would be.
No, it wouldn't.
It would be. I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
all right. So tell me
mustache,
about the proto relic. So tell me. Actually, tell me about
Gears
the last
and
few because
girls.
I haven't finished a proto relic quest since Junon.
Well, at this
we
point,
talked about the
Catch me
Gungaga
up.
one last week. We talked about it already.
yeah, and
that was the one with the Turks. But what was the
Turks.
cutscene you got? So what happens
it was with
when you get the
Cisne.
proto relic?
Cisne, it comes when you get a Cisne thing.
No, he means the final proto relic when you get the cutscene with the four-armed samurai dude. I think in Gungaga, Chadley shows up, like he virtual holograms himself in.
He astrally projects himself.
And that's kind of the whole thing, is the guy being like, what's this? And then in this chunker, when you get all the proto relics and you do the cutscene, you actually do get to fight the guy finally.
What's his name?
And he's not hard.
It just says mysterious samurai or something at this point.
So is this more of a it seemed like they were comedy cutscenes, but is it serious? What's your take on that?
I think all the samurai stuff is very deliberately silly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super silly.
Is the Queen's Blood cutscene supposed to be silly?
No, I think that's earnest. I think
Glarth, Glimglock.
I feel like it. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I feel like it's
yeah,
being
you
earnest.
shouldn't really speak to this, Jim, because as we all know, only I have completed the Queen's Blood questline because it was too hard for Jim, and then he cried, and he put his controller down, and he went home.
So what's his name?
Theory
Leonid
on
Samson?
Yeah, it's something dumb. My theory on Queen's Blood is that because it is slowly revealing that there was a evil queen. And my theory at this point, which is not based on anything solid, is that they are talking about Genova.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right.
Huh. You know what would be cool is if that ended with Anima. If Anima came back.
Oh, that would be super cool.
Yeah.
Anima's
the best. One of the best Final Fantasy summons.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Shiva's still the best, but...
Since we're talking about the Chadley stuff before the main plot stuff, what's the summon for this area?
Is it
this one is Bahamut Arisen?
He's so fucking cool.
Oh, really? Is he good?
I fucking love Bahamut Arisen. When you summon him and he does his, when they leave the field, they do a big super attack. Mm-hmm. It is awesome. It is fucking fantastic. God, Bahamut Arisen is good.
We need to play Final Fantasy 15 for the podcast because I know you played it for Instant Classic, but you didn't get the summon scenes that are so good in that game.
I would replay that game. I think we could do that on the show. I'd play that again.
Yeah,
it's going to be 10 years old in 2 years.
I would like to play it now that all the DLCs and stuff are out and just kind of get the full package.
Yeah,
I think that the version that I played was a little abridged.
Yeah.
I never finished it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the combat's
I just wasn't
trash.
feeling it.
I like it, but the controls are just they picked random buttons. It makes no sense. It plays nothing like any other game you've ever played.
Yeah, it's you like, okay, teleport yourself up to a lamppost and then heal up there. That's how that game works. It's real
I always
dumb.
forget that heals you and restores MP too.
Well,
And-
we'll hit that eventually.
Yeah.
13 and 15 are on the docket.
Yeah, 13 next year for sure.
Anyway, are there any other side quests we want to talk about here? I mean, there's all the challenge stuff, but none of it's interesting.
Half the side quests in Cosmo Canyon you really can't do until you do the chunker stuff.
Well, you can start the one with the girl.
The glide to Chocobo stuff.
Yeah, glide to
Yeah,
Chocobo
the
where her
depressed girl.
mom.
Yeah.
Her mom's like, oh, she stopped riding. She was the best Chocobo jockey out there, but she stopped riding when she got into an accident.
Did she fall
and
off the
doesn't trust her-
Chocobo?
She's not depressed. She's got PTSD.
Yeah,
she got
that's
knocked off a chocobo and then almost got trampled by them and is terrified of getting back on a chocobo.
And looks like her arm's still in a cast too. Like, let her heal.
Yes. Yeah, her arm is still in a cast. Which is, I think, why you get to keep her chocobo this whole chunker.
Right. And Yuffie's trying like tough love approach and being kind of pushy about getting her
Yuffie
back
sucks.
on the saddle.
Except
No,
she
she
sings
doesn't.
the best fucking song in this chunker.
Chocobo, we're riding a chocobo.
That's
we're
not
riding
it.
a
You're doing it very badly.
on a chocobo. Okay, how's it go?
It's chocobo, chocobo. I'm on a chocobo. You're on a chocobo. That's the song.
It is.
I
Pretty
fucking
delightful.
love Yuffie's fucking songs, by the way. If they added one thing to this remake series that is a huge improvement on the original, it is Yuffie and her dumbass songs.
I just like her motion capture too. Like
Yeah.
whoever they got to do her mocap is just really having fun. Like she's so expressive, and although I think Kate Sith's mocaps sometimes it doesn't match the voice acting at all. Where he's like frantically waving his arms, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we should probably go over here."
That was an Irish accent, and he is Scottish.
Faith in Begora. No, that's still Irish.
Leprechauns. No, wait,
Nope,
that's still Irish.
nope. Think about
The
golfing.
traversal in this area, as we discussed, it is frustrating. A lot of it is there's a lot of verticality, which you're supposed to use this gliding chocobo to get to, but it really comes down to just like finding the right ramp to get off of, to jump off of,
Hate
to
it.
get to the next.
looked like there was
spot.
some
Yeah,
like
it's not it's not like it's bad or like it's fun enough to control your flying chocobo, but like it's frustrating. It is
there's
a
some
lot
cool Roman style ruins. Is there anything
Yeah.
about those? Like, is that a side quest? Or is that like where you find proto relics or anything? Did they
Yeah.
do anything with those? Okay.
I guess we still didn't really talk about the proto-relic thing. Gears
Yeah, what's the
and
one for here?
Gambits.
of. Oh yeah, Gears and Gambits. It's
What's that all
awful.
about?
It's
You know what? Imagine Condor. What's it called?
Fort Condor.
Fort
King Condor?
Condor.
Fort Condor.
Condor.
Imagine that, but like really shitty. Though they did bring back some Final Fantasy X shit here because
Well-
it is. Oh, you're right. Sorry, Final Fantasy
Oh, yeah,
12 shit
Gambits.
here. Yeah, Gambits
Because
because it is.
Blitzball.
Yeah, you no, because you do drop AI controlled fighters onto a field that you preset their gambits for, so that they will then go act on their own. This is the biggest callback to Final Fantasy XII I've ever seen in one of these games.
Yeah.
Huh.
You have to
Is
like
Balthier there?
No, it's basically like so we should set this up a little bit. So there are these like areas close to the live stream that you need a little robot thing to get to study. And so Chadley shows up with a little robot that he calls the Chadley bot. And you have to pre-program the Chadley bots with like little conditionals for what to do, like this enemy is weak to fire, so I need to use like a fire attack, and you have different different kinds of little robots you can deploy.
Fun.
And the goal is to get to this big flan that's in the middle of the arena and get past the little mini flans that it sends out and then destroy it in the time limit. I think you have 3 minutes.
Is it the chibi models again?
No, it's just like little robot-looking things.
Yeah.
I think most relevant to Johnny, though, is that involved in that whole storyline, you run into the 3 Avalanche people that Yuffie was hanging out with in her DLC.
And Integrate.
Oh!
And they talk a lot about Wedge, and we get a lot of flashbacks to him.
Yeah, the whole quest is kind of closure for Barrett for feeling guilty about Wedge's death.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually
I don't know if he's dead, though.
Good. He's
never
definitely
saw
dead.
His body.
He's 100% dead.
Never saw his
John,
body.
when you play this quest, you will know he is 100% dead.
Oh, no! It cuts to like his head, like in Hereditary.
Oh
just
man!
crawling with
if there was a
ants.
smash cut to his severed head on the highway,
We get a whole.
Barrett holds his chin and he goes, "I wonder where Wedge is now." And then it just cuts to like the grave, and it shows his rotting.
We do get a whole little story about how after the plate fell, Wedge started an orphanage, but then the orphanage burned down, and he burned to death, screaming and crying about it. Yeah, actually, I did like the Wedge stuff to some degree. I know Johnny loves him, but I did not care for Wedge. So there's a lot of cutscenes of Wedge, which I was not really into.
Okay, I will go back and do this proto-relic ASAP.
But the emotional core of Barrett and Tifa kind of grieving over their dead friend was pretty good.
it was pretty good.
But then they make you play Gambits and Gears, which is... Hey, at least by the last one, I figured out that you can actually just tell the computer to set your gambits for you, and then it's really easy.
To do the end of it, I had to look up like a loadout. I had to Google the right loadout because it was.
Did you use the AI controlled loadout?
No.
You hit like start and it'll just fill it all in for you.
I didn't know that. I was like doing the loadout myself.
It definitely made it a lot easier.
But it's worth playing because if you beat all of them, not only do you get the proto-relics, but Chadley will unlock advanced Gambit and Gears for you. So you can play
not playing
which I was like, no, thank you.
It's kind of like, I loved Fort Condor, but they were like, come back and play hard mode. And I was I think I'm good. Thank you
I'm
so
not doing
much.
hard modes. Don't want to do that. Is that all the side stuff we want to talk about right now?
Bite me, aren't you?
I guess.
All right. Well, let's go to Cosmo Canyon then.
Don't scratch me.
Cosmo
Canyon. We are
going to Cosmo Canyon.
We get a great reveal when we get there because as we're crossing the big bridge to enter the town, Red runs ahead of us and greets his friends who were in there, and he's talking to them in a totally different voice than how we've heard him talk in the game so far. He sounds like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, he does. This shook me a little bit. I was like, what is happening? I guess I remember that he is revealed to be much younger than you think in the original, right? Like I remember them maybe not calling him a teenager, but implying that he was a teen.
Yeah, that line Bugenhagen says like he's 46, which is about a teenager in human years. Or,
But
do you remember when Aerith was talking to someone in her hotel room? And it was a different voice, and then Red 13 comes out, and Cloud's like, what the heck? I thought it was someone else. No, it was just Red 13 using his actual voice.
Why? And you're like, well, why did you put on a voice? And he's like, well, I wanted you to respect me and not think of me as a kid. So I put on a voice like this. But actually, I have a voice like an anime character.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. He also acts a lot more like a dog. He like wags his tail, and he's like, I'm a good boy.
His whole personality changes, I prefer the original. I did learn, I looked it up. It is the same voice actor. They did not change voice actors. But I preferred the original sound. But I got used to the teen, I guess. And it is kind of funny and cute. There are some bits where suddenly the party is no longer treating him like a wise old man. They're treating him like a rambunctious child.
I like his combat dialogue changes. He'll start saying things like, "Did I do good? I did."
Yeah.
He's like very much being like doggy, like a dog does something and looks at you like, "Did you see it?
Yeah, trying
Did
to
you see me
please
do
you.
something good? I did something good. I'm a good boy."
So they say that Red is his duty is to become Watcher of the Vale, a title that he is set to inherit from his parents who, his mother died valiantly defending Cosmo Canyon from an attack, and his father was a coward who ran away, and he sucks, and we hate him.
I'm sick of these nepotism babies. It's like, you don't inherit a job from your dad. It's
Cloud's
awful.
not a nepotism baby.
Cloud?
Yeah, he's not a nepotism baby.
I didn't say he was. I said that.
Well,
Red
I'm just
13
saying there's
was.
lots of characters that aren't. Like, Tifa's not a cowboy anymore, like her dad. And
She was, though. She was a mountain
Yeah,
guide,
that's
just
true.
like her dad.
you don't
Aerith
really
is
know anything
an
about.
elder, just like her mom, or an ancient.
Ancient.
I mean.
Yeah,
She's elderly,
you're
just like
right.
her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wedge is
Yuffie
dead, just like
is
his
a
parents.
nepotism baby. In fact, I'd say Cloud is the only character who isn't a nepo baby.
And Kate Sith. Presumably.
Yeah, and Kate Sith.
We don't know.
Kate Sith is Reeve's
Yeah,
nepo baby.
how did Reeve get his job?
Well, we don't know how Reeve got his job. He could be a
he
Nebo
got his
baby.
Somebody-
job because he
pull
has
up the
magical
wiki.
doll control powers.
Somewhere deep on some wiki, somebody has written an entire resume for Reeve that includes, like, being a ventriloquist and a robot builder.
I bet they have.
So we're in Cosmo Canyon now, and I like the way Cosmo Canyon looks. I think it's one of the, compared to Gongaga, which, was kind of a shitty town. This is a real cool town. Lots of NPCs here.
I liked Gongaga with its bridges. I mean, it's a little
It has,
bland, but it's all right.
A bridge.
I
There's three
got
bridges.
lost in Cosmo Canyon because it's saying go to the seminar, but
Doesn't
it was
tell you
very
where to go,
unclear
yeah.
how the hell you're supposed to go.
I got
there.
lost.
I'm
at that part,
sorry.
too.
Nope. I'm going to need to stop you. When it tells you to go to the seminar, a man shows up and walks you there. So how the fuck did you get
I
lost?
must have just walked
It
away from that
Didn't
guy.
happen to me. Yeah, I didn't. I went and someone told me to go check out their cool treasure room, so I went and did
Oh, that's
that,
what I
and
did
that
too.
just-
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, we run into Is it Bugenhagen or Bugenhagen? I can't remember what they call it. I think it's Bugenhagen.
Yeah, I think it's Bugenhagen because I originally called him Bugenhagen.
Yeah.
And Matt called him Mothman. I figured out what he meant because I guess he's got those it looks like the fuzzy moth antenna. He's got these feathers sticking out of the back of his head.
I remember that from the original. Does nobody else
Yeah.
remember?
No,
did I
his
make
design
this
is
up?
exactly like the original.
His-
I don't remember
Yeah.
you calling him that.
I
you
feel
couldn't
like
see
we
his
called him that in
hair.
the original.
You couldn't see his hair in the original. He's just a man with a circle head.
Yeah. And walking on a ball, floating on a ball, which they do continue.
He still does.
And Bugenhagen's character in the opening of this is so good because he's like, "Oh, so what did you want to talk to me about?" And Tifa's like, "Oh, we have a lot of things to tell you about the live stream."
and
he's
Weapon,
like,
and he's
"Oh,
like, "You're obviously very
You're
stupid."
fucking wrong. What's wrong with you, stupid? Where'd you come up with these dumb ideas?
You know what you
Save
should
the
do?
planet.
You know what you
Who
should-
the fuck do you think
Yeah.
you are?
You know what you should do is maybe go to school for a while.
It's not school though, is it? We're going to talk about that in a minute, but first, so we do go meet Bugenhagen in his observatory, and we get to explore it a little bit. And there's
Everyone
lots of,
starts talking about planetology, and I started going,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, sounds like Scientology.
Yeah.
You get to explore the observatory a bit, and you do. I remember there being a big cutscene here in the original, and there's a big cutscene here again, where there's I don't know, a diagram of the solar system.
Yeah, there's a part right before that where you can go to the bottom floor and turn on a phonograph, and there's like that kind of big moaning sound that you heard in the original and that you've heard in the remake. And Bugenhagen is like, oh yes, that's the cry of the planet. And Tifa's like, that's the sound that Weapon made. Maybe it's a weapon. And he's like, oh no, sweetie, you're very stupid.
You're very stupid. Go to school. But you do get to go up to the top of the observatory, and you get a little cutscene where Bugenhagen shows us, the planets and talks about the ancients, the Cetra, and the Gi.
I never knew how to pronounce that before. I'm glad I could hear it out loud.
How would you pronounce it otherwise?
I think they say G, don't they? Aren't they the G tribe?
I don't know.
Now that you say that, I'm totally unsure.
I think it's the G tribe because I always said Gi, and then they're like, no, it's the G tribe.
Oh.
Vanessa, what do you think? How's it pronounced?
I just don't understand those guys' deal at all. I don't care how their name's pronounced. I want to know what the heck they're going on about all the time.
They're from Soul Reaver. Yeah, that's Raziel.
Oh,
okay.
Man. That's a good game.
That is a good game.
Yeah.
So enough about Soul Reaver.
No, enough about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Soul Reaver.
Let's talk about Soul Reaver. Some amazing block puzzles, but also the two worlds thing. Chef's kiss. Like, so well done.
Remember how
definitely a game I got lost in a lot because I could not figure out where the fuck to go.
Remember how cool it was when he would pull his scarf out and swallow their souls? That was so cool.
Yeah. He had like no jaw.
No lower jaw because Kane ripped it off.
Yeah. And then you get the Soul Reaver, which is like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's
pretty great.
Attached to your hand.
Pretty awesome. Okay.
Did anybody ever play the original Legacy of Kain game?
I played it. Is it like a top-down RPG?
It's top-down, yeah. I don't know that it's such an RPG. Like an action RPG.
Yeah.
Like a Zelda-like.
Yeah, those games have cool stories. Okay, back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is where we get the planetarium scene where he turns on his cosmosphere and he talks about how the life stream is necessary for the health of the planet, and if the planet were to be deprived of its life stream, it would crumble and die.
Does he also tell us here that the Gi can't?
We learn that later. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And so he...
I don't really understand what's going on with the Gi here, though. Like, we do learn that the Cetra...
I'll tell you later.
Like, placated the Gi. And now that the Cetra are gone, they're...
The Gi haven't even been introduced in the game yet. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they have. We know that the Gi killed his fucking Red's parents.
Well, yeah.
We know that the town gets invaded by the Gi sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that is mentioned, but it hasn't really talked about like what the Gi's deal is.
I feel like they undercut the planet scene by basically doing it at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake in the
I agree.
VR chamber. So it was basically that again, and I kind of wish they hadn't done it because it was such a good scene in the first game. Like
that VR chamber scene was amazing.
Yeah. But in the original game, I remember saving right there and then dragging my friend Travis over and showing him the whole thing.
That's a good scene in the original, too. It's very, very well done.
Yeah, here is a little boring.
You're on a chocobo. What a great song.
One thing that always stuck with me about the scene from the original is when it shows the planet dying, it shows the chunks falling to the floor. That's not what happens in space. They're just going to drift away. They're not going to fall down on the floor.
It's a metaphor.
A metaphor for stuff falling on the floor in space.
Can we talk about the lecture that the girls go to?
Yeah, that happens right after.
It is a metaphor. You know?
That lecture... That lecture seminar is Matt. I remember Matt really griping about how everyone goes to therapy, and I thought it was going to be a big deal, but it's really not that bad. But Matt just doesn't like therapy.
She's just
it's
I'm
sorry. A seminar, though.
Excuse
me.
Like yes,
talking
it's like a group therapy.
Thank you
session.
so much, Vanessa. It is not a. Okay, so can we we are jumping around a bit. So we discuss we learn, well, yes, because we get the scene with Bugenhagen and what's going to happen with the live stream. Mm-hmm. And then Tifa offers a theory to Bugenhagen about what's going on. And she's talking about the weapons, and she's seen Sephiroth trying to kill the weapons in the live stream. And he legitimately is like, interesting theory, but also you're a fucking idiot. And maybe you should go to one of our seminars.
Tifa, you stupid.
Yeah, seriously.
But the seminar doesn't even, like, counter what she's been saying.
No.
It's just like, how do you feel about the planet?
So Aerith, like, raises her hand and is like, can I come too? And they leave. But then you as Cloud have to go, like, find the seminar, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
But as Vanessa is saying,
someone
which I
told
agree with,
you that someone walked you over
walked
there.
you there.
Yeah, that Jim and I were stupid because we couldn't find it.
you are stupid because you couldn't find it, because somebody does walk you over there. It's still annoying. I'll tell you why it's annoying. He walks very slow. Like everybody in this game, you're walking at your slowest possible pace. Anyway. But as Vanessa was saying, so the girls go to the seminar and you kind of show up a little late. You've missed some.
You do hear a guy talking, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is interesting." The guy's like, "Yeah, so I've always been a big guy, and then my dad said that I was selfish because I was using too much Mako being a big guy, and it's taking too much of the live stream to support me. But then I realized, like, hey." It's a gift that they're making me, that I'm a big guy, because it's like I got more of the stream and more knowledge, and I don't know, it was sweet. I think I'm saying it wrong, but it was sweet. I thought it was
the way
nice...
you're saying it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, the way that it was set in the game was I kind of liked it. Although once again they don't know how to make a hot big guy this game. They had Wedge last time, he worked, but this guy's who got like a weird long neck and just looks kind of creepy.
So as Vanessa was saying, which was my big gripe, is you get to this seminar, it is not a fucking seminar, okay? It is a group therapy session. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fucking bizarre and frustrating.
Actually, this, according
and to me, really cemented in my mind that this is a fucking cult. This is not... they present themselves as being like, a scientific community. It is a cult where they're like, hey, you don't agree with us? Go to therapy. Check your thetan levels.
I did that one time. I got audited by a Scientologist.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Did you enjoy
How was it?
I thought it was really weird, and it took like an hour. I was writing an article about Scientology in college, so I drove to Kansas City and went to one of their churches and got audited, and they gave me a bunch of books on Dianetics.
How many times did they?
I did
call
an
you
article
afterwards?
on Scientology in college, and I wanted to go and do that, and then my social anxiety convinced me not to, and I'm glad that I didn't, frankly.
Well, technically, according to the Oxford English Dictionary. Seminar is a conference or other meeting for discussion or training. Has a very loose definition.
Okay. All right, fair enough. This still stuck out to me as really stupid. Vanessa, back me up.
Yeah, it was weird.
I liked that they made, they really leaned into the kind of new agey weirdness of Cosmo Canyon. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, it has a lot of, like, new age tourists who are there to, like, meditate and be one with the earth and that kind of stuff.
It's weird that they sell weapons there. When you talk to the weapon lady, she's like, now don't use these for violence. What do you... I mean, these are... What?
She makes it clear that she doesn't sell to just anyone, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, but that's also, true. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of literal monsters right outside the door.
Big scary ones.
Of this town. So what do you think I'm going to do with this thing?
I accidentally got stoned to death right before the Chocobo hunt.
Beg your pardon?
Maybe you should like change up your
no, that was the other
strain, or like
G
get
Village.
A lower milligram of THC if you're getting stoned to death.
We
all got stoned.
Adultery.
What?
Or that, yeah.
Oh, I get it.
So after the seminar, we go and we're told that everyone is preparing for this thing called the River of Lights, which, like,
at the river of lights.
I just
river
want to
of
say,
lights,
like, we didn't talk about what Tifa said, which she really, like, dives into, like, because it is a group therapy session. She really gets into, like, how she felt about, like, getting swallowed by a weapon and living in its tummy and seeing all of her, like, old memories, and that there are whispers fighting each other in the live stream, and Sephiroth is there, and they all look at her like she is a fucking psychopath, which I guess is fair.
probably like, oh yeah, I want to smoke what she was smoking, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go in the weapons tummy too, man.
Everybody's looking for something, something. Thought that I lost. Sorry, that's
I
doo-wop
join in with
era.
you, Johnny, but
Billy Joel.
my throat is a little sore today.
Aw. Do you like doo-wop era Billy Joel, Vanessa?
I do like it. I like a
Wow.
lot of Billy Joel.
I really just lost a lot of respect for the both of you. Billy Joel, really?
Did you know
Uptown
that
Girl
Piano Man
is a great song.
Did you know that Piano Man came out 75 years ago today?
Wow.
That can't be the case.
That because
That
Billy
cannot
Joel
be the
is
case.
140.
Wait, Piano Man is a Billy Joel song?
Yeah.
It is, but it's
I
not.
thought it was an Elton
I
John
thought
song.
it
It's
said
a
75. I
think it was released in 75, maybe. That makes more sense.
Yeah, included on Joel's 1973 album,
It's
Piano
50
Man.
it's 51,
Hey,
I guess.
1973 is not 75 years ago, Jim.
I
hope not.
would
I was
say the
born in the
Piano
70s.
Man is maybe my least favorite Billy Joel song I've heard. That's my hot
It was
take.
51 years ago, which is a long ass time
It
ago.
was a long
I
time.
What
think
am I thinking
we
of?
Oh, he just turned
didn't
75.
What's the
start
Elton John
the
song I'm
fire.
thinking of?
Billy Joel just turned 75. I think you're thinking of...
Oh.
Wait, what are you thinking of?
Vanessa, We Didn't
Yeah.
Start the Fire is the worst Billy Joel song.
That's an amazing song.
That's
what
one
are
of
you
the
talking
best.
about?
That's
That's
one
the
of the
first
best.
rap song.
The first... Wow.
What?
Sorry.
I think what you just said is fucking racist. And you need
Let's talk to
say
Grandmaster
it.
Flash for a second. Maybe the Cherry Hill Gang?
Billy Joel was the first rapper. Oh man! All right, let's talk about the River of Lights. The River of Lights is it's a thing that happens in real life if you live in the suburbs, where these event companies will charge people a bunch of money to go sit in like a parking lot or maybe like a park at a lake. And you pay $50 and they give you a shitty little paper lantern, and then everybody lights them at once and sets them off. And people ooh ah for 10 minutes, and then they go home in traffic.
I
Is it
always
like
wonder
a
what happens
forest
to the
fire?
paper lanterns afterwards.
They
Like,
start
who's
a
cleaning
lot
up
of
this
forest
fucking
fires.
litter?
Ideally,
Okay,
they're
well,
supposed
this is
to
a
burn
desert,
up to
John.
ashes.
So
Like, everything's made of combustible materials is the point, Matt. So it doesn't, like, leave bits.
If they just burn up.
Other than,
Yeah.
other than ash.
okay, well, it's not starting any forest fires in this fucking giant desert canyon.
That's only for gender reveal parties.
Yeah.
That can start forest fires.
So Aerith gives a nice speech here. I don't know. I wonder, did they ask her to do this, or was she just like, you know what, I'm gonna grab the mic right here, and then you know what?
Yeah, I was
maybe Aerith is this game's first rapper.
Excuse me, I'll let you finish, but I want to talk.
She does. She talks about being the last of the ancients and like how that is affecting her like emotionally, which is, I mean, I think it's a good scene.
Yeah,
but we
I liked
do
it.
obviously have to talk about, you know, the big part of the big moment in this speech.
What's that?
When you control Cloud and you're given the option of
Smiling.
encourage her, stop her, smile at her.
Yeah.
I encouraged her.
Okay. So what happened when you encouraged her?
Oh, she smiled and went on,
Yeah, she
like,
just kept going.
with more determination.
Jim,
But
did you
how
also
did Cloud
encourage her?
I
encourage
did
her?
also encourage.
Yeah. How did he?
Oh,
Did
he
you
said
like give a thumbs up or something?
No, he's sort of whisper talked, like, keep going.
Yeah.
Like, it was sweet.
Okay.
I liked it.
I picked smile at her because I thought it would
Yes.
be extremely rude to interrupt her speech.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
same.
interrupt. He just says, like, he talks very quietly, but she sees him say it. And it's a nice moment.
That would be so rude. Imagine you're like giving a speech and like someone's in the first row like, You're doing great.
Okay.
I would
all right.
like that, Vanessa. I'm sorry.
But also, Vanessa, I also chose smile. I need you to describe this most awkward scene, please.
So, Cloud chooses smile at her, but Cloud cannot really smile.
Yeah, does he know how to smile? I don't think I've seen Cloud.
Hey,
No,
this
he
scene
doesn't
proves that he
smile.
does not.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember how Sora would smile in Kingdom Hearts when he's doing his cheesy thing?
Yeah.
It was a little bit like that, except just kind of barely showing his teeth, just
And slow. And
Yeah.
awkward. This is the cringiest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Legitimately, my skeleton tried to jump out of my body and leave the room. That's how cringy this was. I
and
was
then Aerith
dying.
sees him, and she's sort of okay.
So I guess encouraging her verbally wasn't such a bad idea then.
What's the other option? I
Stop
guess
her.
the other
I
was
I think
it.
Stop her.
tell
Yeah,
her to
stop
shut
her.
up or something. Yeah.
I wonder what. I assume if you do that, she stops. But Vanessa, I loved this. I loved that I picked smile. It was
Me
so
too.
fucking weird.
You also have
He slowly smiles,
I wanna
he's
Google
trying
this.
to figure out how to make that shape with his face. It's a real up, down, up, down, up, down. Can't get it. And then when he
You
finally
have
does, it's
you have the option of helping, talking to everyone else before, and they all give you 3 different choices. But I didn't. The first person I talked to was Barrett, and I didn't realize that. So I was walking around doing dishes or something while they were talking, and then I was like, "Oh no!" I realized I missed a choice.
Yeah,
just,
that's happened to me
timed
a few
out.
times. I don't know. I didn't feel like I did well here when I went around and talked to everybody. I felt like I did not pick the right option for
I
any
definitely
of them.
did not for Barrett because he was like, "Oh, okay then."
I just
think
put
he was
put a screen grab of Cloud's smile in the chat.
Ooh, let's see this smile. I can't imagine it. Is it gonna look like Gary's mod? Oh, that looks like a guy on Growler who is trying to do a smiling picture but doesn't really know how.
Yeah. It's one of
Who
his
doesn't know how to
eyes is
smile?
open larger than the other one. And he's just kind of opened his mouth, and he's
That does. I wouldn't read that as smiling. It looks like he's about to sneeze.
It does.
God, also, I know that I don't think it's intentional. I know that this has kind of always been his design, but his hair makes him look like such a 2010s emo band boy.
It does.
You know? It is painfully terrible. Straight up, it was painfully terrible at the time.
Yeah, guys that look like that when I was in high school and college were probably the kinds of guys who did not nice things to women. Those
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
were scumbags.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you all watched the red carpet of the Met Gala on Monday.
Absolutely
as I
did not.
I
saw a lot of
watching it-
pictures of Met
Yeah.
Gala attendees in their $1 million dresses and suits juxtaposed with children screaming in Gaza. Is that similar?
well,
Is that what you're talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Vanessa was sending us pictures of one lady who was wet.
Yeah, I sent you Doja Cat's wet T-shirt dress.
Oh, was that Doja Cat? Listen, most of the time, this and what's the other thing they do? Whatever. All of these galas and balls and stuff where they're all wearing fancy
Balls.
$1 billion dresses, I always think they look fucking terrible.
Well, Met Gala's more of a costume thing than stuff you'd wear on the street. But Tommy Hilfiger showed up with
Hilfiger?
8 South Korean boys, who I guess are in a
Cool.
band, and they
Awesome.
all had the anime hair thing going on.
Infamous racist Tommy Hilfiger.
I think that was a lie. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I don't know.
I wasn't lying. He
Wow.
really brought these Korean boys with
Look
him.
at John carrying water for old Tommy Hilfiger.
But one of them was dressed all in white and had completely white hair and was doing a total Sephiroth. It was great.
Ooh.
Sephiroth doesn't wear all white, and he doesn't have white hair. He has gray hair.
No.
Shut-
Oh. Well,
Shut up.
yes,
All right, did you guys
whitish gray?
Did you guys ooh-ah at the River of Lights?
No, because I feel like this was done better in Final Fantasy X.
And
Oh,
Rapunzel.
when they would do the sendings?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was better.
I believe what you meant to say, Vanessa, was Tangled.
Right.
Although we do know that it is canon that Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII, at least in the remake, take place in the same universe.
It's true.
It's also canon that that Final Fantasy VII takes place on Earth. So,
Is it?
No, what I would
Yeah.
love is a Final Fantasy game set on the planet that Genova came from, where they're like, oh, how are we going to save our planet? It's dying. Like, we'll send this hero of our people to go find a new homeworld for us.
So,
they just send the thing.
well, I guess we'll find. We have to wait till next game to see if they do all the planets again when Sephiroth does his attack.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When Sephiroth destroys half the solar system.
Mm-hmm.
So after the River of Light scene, Bugenhagen comes up to us and he's like, hey, Nanaki, come with me. I have something to show you. And he takes Nanaki and we follow. They go to like a big, looks like a vault door.
Mm-hmm.
He said,
from Fallout.
Yeah, he said, beyond this door. Bo be like, if you want.
Which one is it?
Vault 95.
69.
Nice.
Vault 7, obviously. Come on.
Oh, you're right.
So he's like, hey, if you want to become the Watcher of the Vale, you need to pass this trial, which means you and a companion need to go through here and do this. And I like that Cloud's like, I'll do it. And he's like, no, it's going to be Barrett.
Yeah, he was
he
like,
is.
it would be pointless for you to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand why.
I didn't either.
Because Cloud doesn't have a soul.
Burn.
Dark.
I kind of truncated the notes about this dungeon because it's really long and mostly empty and kind of boring.
I
Yeah,
liked
it's not
it just
great.
because I liked running up and down.
That was
Yes.
fun. That was fun.
That was
Yeah.
fun. I like how he just kind of sits down like a dog on the bench. To rest.
I love that.
I like seeing everyone's bench animation.
What's your favorite
Yeah.
one so far?
It's still Yuffie.
Yeah, Yuffie's the best.
Her little
Kate
plop
Sith.
down. I haven't seen Kate Sis, but Barrett does this nice, like, just super relaxed one.
Yeah.
Speaking of Barrett, Barrett is the accompanier to Red 13 because he's like, oh, there's no point of bringing Cloud because Cloud's just too powerful. So we'll bring Barrett, who sucks.
Barrett's kind
Well,
of
I didn't
my
mind.
least favorite
There's a-
one to play as. Least favorite character to play.
Yeah, he's boring. There's a bit here where Barrett and Red are like combative with each other, and Barrett's like, "You don't have to. You can at least pretend like you don't hate me."
Yeah.
And I was real confused.
Me
Like, what are you
too.
talking about?
Like, I didn't get the
Yeah.
sense in the game so far that Red 13 hated Barrett. And
Yeah.
and Barrett's like, you got stuck with the guy you like the least or whatever. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I had no idea what they were talking about.
But they got some bonding time, and I liked I think that the floor punch that Barrett gets here because he can find his bazooka is good.
Yeah.
And you get like his charging uppercut's always a fun move.
That is
He's
that's
fun.
Yeah, I
he's all
agree
right.
that when like Barrett is more fun when, and this was the same. This was true in remake as well. Towards the end of the game, I guess is what they're going to do with this. He does tend to get physical attacks, and they are
Yeah.
fun.
yeah. He's
But they don't.
But when
they
you're
don't
playing
link
as him and
together.
you're just standing in one spot firing your arm gun, it is fucking boring.
Well, I also have equipped him now so that he gets regen and protect automatically when he
Yeah.
starts. So he's really powerful, and you can put like steel skin or life swap or whatever.
He's
I
also
don't know,
he's also like a stagger machine. Like he staggers enemies so easily, especially if
Well,
you. If
but
you do
Yuffie
his,
does too.
yeah,
and
Yuffie
she's
does
so
too.
much more fun to play.
That's very
Yeah,
true,
Yuffie is so fucking fun.
But I think what's the problem with Barrett is his moves don't link together well, like Tifa or Yuffie, where they like especially
Like a
Tifa,
combo,
how they
yeah.
Yeah, how you can do them in a certain order and then you don't get the wait time between moves. It immediately goes between, which I got in Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I have to go back and watch a tutorial to remember the combos in this one. Because it's like, if you don't do it right, then like Star Drive takes forever, or Star Crush or whatever it's called.
Star Shower?
You just like... Yeah, Star Shower. She'll wait for 10 seconds before she does it, but if you do it right, it goes immediately into it. And I'm like, oh, which move is it?
That's a
to
really
go into
powerful
that?
move, too.
Yeah.
So in this dungeon, there's an area where you can like run on the walls and reach areas up high. The first little puzzle.
I like
you're in this room with
the artifact room.
Yeah, you're in
is
this,
so fun.
You're in the statue with a big G like guy in the middle, and you have to find the right artifact in the room. So you have to go through these like piles of bones and things to find the right.
And Bugenhagen's like, that's a bone.
But when you bring him different things, he will give you like tons of crafting materials, which I don't care about this crafting system. It's not good.
I like the crafting system later in the game because it just allowed me to upgrade all the good stuff I already had, so I could just make it even better.
Yeah,
I just like making Bugenhagen annoyed by bringing him the wrong, like, different crap over and over. That was, you can't bring him the same thing twice, but there's still a lot of junk to give him.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
It is fun. There's another puzzle where you have to run and find these little statues to put on the right pedestal to open the gate. There's another one where you have to like pull these chains and set them in their cradles in order to keep gates open.
Speaking of the chain, the opening to the Cosmo Canyon, before you get to Cosmo Canyon, they have a version of the Final Fantasy VII theme, like the map theme from the original game, but it starts out with like a guitar and like kick drums that sounds exactly like the start to the Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
That's an iconic start to a song.
Ding 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 ding. Kick it.
I don't know why Vanessa is sending us pictures of hot broads in the fucking chat. But I'm
broads.
I'm sending you a picture of fashion.
Hashtag hot broads.
Hot broads.
Who is
check
this?
it and see.
Hot broad.
Who is this gorgeous woman?
Wow, I like that
That's
sandress.
that
That
Tyler
sandress
girl
is
who sings that Water Me song, like, I'm all wet. What? No, wait. It goes
ooh,
like
with an
Make me
hourglass
sweat,
accessory.
Make me harder. Make me
That's a
lose
cool-
my breath. Make me water.
I don't
I've
know why
heard that
you're
song.
singing it like that.
Is she carrying an hourglass?
That's how it goes.
Yeah, she is.
Why are you singing it like you're in Return of the Nerds or whatever?
That's
No,
how
she's
it
she
goes.
sliced noodles from Jabba's palace.
Return of the Nerds. What's that?
Revenge of the Nerds.
That's
Yeah, Return of the Nerds.
That's like Return of the Jedi, but they're all nerds.
Yeah. I embarrassingly thought that Tyla was British because I first saw her on the Graham Norton show, but she's South African.
Ooh.
I'm so out of it, guys. I don't know anything
that's
about
okay.
pop culture.
Are there any other things worth mentioning in this dungeon?
I mean, we learn a lot about the Gi.
Well, we do after this. We do after this.
Yeah.
No, we do
well,
here.
No, even right there.
We fight
because-
a bunch of Gi.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, first you fight a lancer after you get the arrow, and
Those
it's
lancers
like,
are hard.
They're like, hey, so we couldn't die and stuff.
Yeah, can I just
Like, they
explain what
start
their whole
telling
deal
you.
is? Can I just explain what their whole deal
Yes.
is? Okay.
What is the whole
So-
deal? Because these were in the original game, but they didn't really explain them.
They were just kind of a one-off in the original game. Like, you got the sense, they were kind of ghosts that lived in this cave or whatever. But in this game, it's posited that they are either some type of different species or they're from another planet. And because of that, like all living things on the planet, when they die, they go to the live stream. They cannot because they were not born from the planet, so they can't return to it.
So wait, where are they from?
They're from... It's my understanding, I took from this that they're aliens. Vanessa, did you get the same feeling?
No.
This planet is a hotspot for aliens. Then
I
'cause You have
know.
the Cetra, who are aliens. You have Genova, who are aliens.
No,
and I guess
the
G-
Cetra aren't aliens. They're born from the planet. That's why they go back to the planet.
I think that the Gi are from the planet, but they got infected by Genova when Genova landed. I think they're sort of the original Genova boys.
Okay. Well, either way, when they die, they cannot return to the planet, so they just are doomed to remain undead forever. So their whole deal is they want to create or have created the black materia, which is a materia that's designed to let them finally get rest by destroying the planet.
And Bugenhagen sort of starts implying things, but Nanaki's stupid and doesn't get it. He's like, 45 years ago, and you're 46, don't forget. The last Watcher of the Vale came in here and sealed themselves in to fight the G tribe.
Yeah, keep the Gi out of the city.
Nanaki's like, weird.
I didn't know
That'd
any
been the
of
same
a
time as my
Watcher
parents.
That. Yeah, I only know my dumb dad who ran off because he's a deadbeat.
I liked figuring out. I figured it out right away that you can hook the second chain onto a hook, and then I did find the third hook for the chain.
Yeah, these are some real door opening puzzles, which are your favorite kind, Johnny.
It's true. They are door puzzles, and I do love them.
Well, we got a lot of them. The boss here is G Natak. And I don't know about you guys, but in the original, you could just throw a phoenix down at this guy and he would die. That's definitely the first thing I tried to do.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, I tried to give him a phoenix down and it did nothing.
That's too bad.
Because I was trying to get the two. There's like Watcher's Respite and Watcher's like Gate or something. There's two weapon things I was trying to teach. Red here, because you can find another collar, and I destroy things so fast with Red that I don't really get a chance. I was at least doing like filling up the vengeance gauge doing the siphon. And
this is the dungeon where I finally figured out what the vengeance meter does. where you have to like block attacks, right, and it fills your vengeance meter.
Yeah. And then you can also he has a move where it'll super fill his vengeance meter fast, and if you get hit during it, you can do a counter that does a ton of damage. Yeah. And then with his vengeance meter, you can also spend it to heal, and it does a pretty good job healing your entire party.
Yeah. Yeah. So we kill G Natak, and then we get another scene with Bugenhagen where he's like, hey, you did a good job, but there's one more person who needs to give you their approval before you can become the true Watcher of the Vale. And
can I talk about Gina Talk for a second? Yeah. He's got all these idols that light up, and then we'll give you status effects of the color of the idol, and they do explain what each of them does in a little tutorial window. I really like this. I thought this was a really fun fight, even if it was short, because you can get Red pretty powerful if you know how to use his attacks. But it eventually starts counting down doom on you, and it looks so much like Final Fantasy XII, I think, had that number counter that was like weird. It like starts at like 87,000 for no reason. I don't know. I really like this boss fight. I thought it's the best one so far in the game.
I like playing as Red. I think his Stardust Ray is so overpowered. Like that thing just
all his moves are really powerful.
I had not gotten like any of his abilities, so this whole dungeon I was like switching. I was leveling up weapons and switching between them.
Just like spamming those weapon
I
abilities.
did get almost all of them, or if not all of them. There's some characters that I just like. Barrett, I don't have all of them.
Yeah.
Aerith, I don't have all of them. Red, I just don't use them that much. I don't care.
I like them. I like unlocking them.
Okay.
Listen to the wind blow.
So now I think we all know we all know what happens here. We played the original. Seto is actually the hero of Watcher of the Vale. He's a stony dog on a hilltop.
Yeah, we learned that he keeps talking about a warrior that, the town was under attack by the Gi, and one warrior remembered that there was like an important location that the Gi were going to try to attack. And he fled the battle and ran to the location. And now we get the whole story about that warrior fighting off all of the Gi and holding it until their poisoned arrows petrified him. He turned to stone. And we come upon,
that's why he keeps turning to... Okay. Yeah, that was the enemies that
we come upon the statue, and it is a big red 13. It's a big lion dog.
Mm-hmm. And it does a tear when he's like, "You're my father." What?
Yeah.
And yeah, he cries because he's like, "My son's so stupid, so stupid."
Yeah, 100%. That's what happens. It is. It's sweet. This brought a little.
You find
tear to
out
my
that
eye.
the just like the statue, you find out that the reason that Nanaki's mom never told him about it was because he was worried that he would come and try to save his dad when he wasn't ready, and that's why she kept it from him.
Red is very sad about his stony father. Though I gotta say, I've got magic that can undo this.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Final Fantasy IX, where they're like, "Well, these people are dead," and it's actually,
Or Final Fantasy IV. With the
that's
Paladin
right.
Forum.
I put this in the notes, but you see him crying. Presumably, he can also pee and come.
Yeah. And poop.
Now, how do you think he makes himself come, though? Just like his sex
the
dreams are
mind is
that.
the most powerful erotic muscle in the body.
I mean, I agree
he's
with
always
that, but I
hard.
also still need a little handwork.
Oh, yeah, he's always hard. Anyways, we're about to leave, and this is where there's a bit of a diversion from the original. We'll get back to we go to leave, and then Gina Talk shows up again.
Oh, is it a little bit of a diversion from the original? Because last week you said it was a huge story change. I can't believe it.
I was underselling it because I'm about to blow you. Well, I guess I already said it. Like
oversold the fuck out of this.
In Rebirth, the G are responsible for the black materia. That's what I took from it. That they because they said they made it from their sorrow and their torment or whatever, right? So they're responsible for the black materia. Whereas before it was like, oh, the Cetra for some reason created a materia that can destroy the Earth. Hope that doesn't come back to haunt them.
Because they want to die. They want to finally fully die. And so they, I guess, created the black materia.
I feel like that's a big lore change, but maybe I'm just a fucking nerd.
You are a fucking nerd. It is certainly a lore change. It does feel like more side content and less
that's for the fans,
big
bro.
Story change.
That's only for the hardcore fans. They like more G.
Does the original game explain where the black materia came from?
It just says that it's that they made. You know what? I think it does in that mural scene, but for the life of me, I cannot remember what they say.
So I'm going to assume that it doesn't because you don't remember it and you've played the game 100 times and say that this is just a little fleshing out.
Vanessa wants to say a thing.
Yeah, in the original game, does Red 13 make a bargain with the G to definitely bring them the black materia, or else they will turn him to stone?
That definitely does happen in a side quest later.
All right, but before we talk about Gina Talk appears, and he does tell us that we have to go with him.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, it's time for some zacking off. Thank you for writing that in the notes, Jim. It was a good job. I stole it. I swiped it, but I liked it.
I put that idea in the group chat the other day. I said, hey, we should have a segment where we talk about the Zack stuff and call it Zacking Off. And nobody responded to my great Zacking Off joke.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm sure we all had responses. They just didn't seem warranted to share with you.
Well, great.
Time for Zacking Off. It's time to Zack off.
Yep.
It's Zack time. We finally get a little bit of clarity on what the fuck is going on with Zack.
What? Well, Matt, tell us about that. What is going on with Zack?
It's not my job, Jim. You do it.
That's Vanessa's favorite. So we cut to Sector 5 Undercity in this, I guess, alternate timeline where Biggs is...
Vanessa is asleep, so don't worry about Vanessa.
I'm awake.
Biggs and Zach are hanging out, and they're all like, "How
Sorry, do you mean Charlie Sheen?
Yeah, Charlie Sheen. And they're like, "Hey, bro, how did you survive your ordeal?" And he's like, "I don't know, bro. How'd you survive yours?" And he's like, "I don't know either, bro." And
he's like, I felt it was like the wind was carrying me, and Zach's like, he starts holding Aerith. Well, at the end of this, he holds Aerith's hand. It's like, you were the wind, weren't you?
They're talking about whispers, is what I took from that, like whispers.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and so and so Biggs is trying to kind of revive Avalanche. He's trying to recruit more members by hanging out flyers, which seems like a good way to get yourself arrested, but he's doing it anyway. And
Kyrie makes fun of him.
Yeah, he like goes to host like a meeting.
I'm sorry. Are you talking Biggs? Are you talking about Ricky Vaughn? Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn
from Major League?
Maybe.
He looks exactly like Charlie Sheen in Major League.
He does look like a young Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
You also see Kyrie's
down to the pointy sideburns. Like, it is a fucking 1-for-1 recreation. Charlie Sheen should sue Square.
Nobody tell Charlie Sheen about this character. Okay?
John, you said Kyrie shows up. Her name is Kyrie, John.
Yeah, Kyrie.
Oh, sorry. Kyrie shows up.
It's Kyrie.
Her grandmother's backpack is there too, so maybe she was somewhere around.
Yeah,
like it does have a lingering shot.
Hang on. I took from that it was her backpack and she was going to join, but then she saw fucking Charlie Sheen and she was like, hey, never mind.
That's what I interpreted as well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I think we're all just happy to get more Kyrie.
Kyrie. She's the least necessary new side character.
She does have a stupid hat, at least.
And she has stupid stockings, too. Look at her little stupid striped stockings.
So, all right. So let's just say what happens here, which is that Biggs and Zach talk about, they both remember themselves dying, basically, in the main timeline. Biggs remembers dying on the tower before the plate fell. Zach remembers dying when he was fighting all the soldiers.
But then he remembers a wind blowing a bullet off to the side and not hitting his head.
That was the wind beneath his wings.
Yep, the wind beneath his wings saves him. But then they both blacked out, and then they both kind of woke up in Midgar. So I think what we are supposed to take from this is that this isn't just an alternate dimension. It is an alternate dimension where these characters who should have died were shunted to after they
shunted, like in the movie Society where they do the shunting.
What?
I have no idea what you're
Nobody
talking about.
knows what that. I guess nobody gets that. Is
reference. That the one about people that eat people?
They like absorb other people in big orgies.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
It's like New Vegas.
Yeah.
Jim had a theory about this. I said I think it is like an alternate dimension that they have been shunted to. Jim, what did you say?
So I will go on the record as saying I finished the game and I don't understand what's going on. So I'm legitimately offering my theory for what's happening. I think that Zach and Biggs are you know that like branching theory of multiple timelines or whatever. Like all these eventualities happen in other realities. I think they're in an alternate reality where like they both lived, but I think that these realities are temporary, which is why you see that big streak in the sky. That eventually this reality is going to collapse on itself.
And I feel like Cloud and Aerith can't be alive in that one because they are alive in the other one, and that's why they're connected to and feel like.
If I can relate it back to something that I know we've all seen, but the last animated Spider-Man movie where they talk about canon events, I feel like these realities where these canon events don't happen, aka Zack dying, Biggs dying, these realities that they exist in where they're alive eventually just collapse in on themselves.
Huh.
That's my
That would be
feeling.
such a bummer if that's how the multiverse worked. It's like, sorry, good things can't happen to you because, like, it's a fixed point in time that your life sucks.
Some people are just some people are the main characters and some people aren't.
I like
that's true.
I like this Zack attack. What do you call it? Zacking off section.
Yeah.
A lot. I really like the ending because it ends with Zack holding Aerith's hand and him thinking she's responsible for the good whispers, and then she meanwhile has her hand in the live stream and gets like a chill when he holds her hand. She feels it.
That's kind of a change. In the past we've seen this from Cloud's perspective, but now this time Aerith is the one getting the vibe.
Yeah.
Also, I think John just liked this because he finally got to see Cloud in a wheelchair, which he's really hot for some reason.
We also see Marlene here.
Oh, boy.
We get a little
Jim's
bit more.
so
you do
hot
see
for
Marlene.
disability representation.
Marlene is pretty esteemed that we
sorry,
only found Biggs, but we did not find Barrett or Tifa. And then Zack leaves her to go check on Aerith, and then he holds her hand. And
Oh, man. This is awful, but I don't know if I should leave this in or not. You know how Matt was telling me about how people were being awful about Hades 2 for what's her face not being hot enough.
Hephaestia.
Hephaestia not being hot enough.
She's a large-boned black woman and not a huge tittied anime girl. How dare they?
But they also don't like that. I think Hephaestus, right? The guy, he is in a wheelchair after his fall from Mount Olympus and has a prosthetic leg. And in the same post, they call that a wheelchair a cuck chair. Like, what the fuck is wrong with
Yikes.
you? What is your fucking problem?
I mean, the internet gives the worst people on Earth a license to be their worst selves. That's the
Why
problem.
is it so awful, though?
And they made Hephaestus this big beefy bear with a fuzzy tummy.
And, like, canonically, like, that's... Hephaestus was supposed to, be disabled and...
Yeah. Wasn't he beat up by the other gods?
They tossed him
Zeus?
off Olympus because he was like an ugly baby or something.
Yeah, and in the God of War 3, Hephaestus was voiced by Rip Torn. So I think it's
I love Rip Torn.
Yeah.
My favorite
All right,
story
let's
get
about
torn up with Rip
Hephaestus-
Taylor.
No, it's Vanessa's myth time.
Okay.
Oh, Vanessa
ahead.
Smith time.
My favorite story about Hephaestus is how he got Aphrodite to agree to marry him when all the gods were like presenting why they would be good husbands for her. Like, oh, I'm the god of war, I'm awesome. I'm like Zeus, I'm the king of the gods. Hephaestus was like, I work really late, and so you'll have a lot of time to yourself during the day. I'd be a good guy, like husband for a woman like you. And she's like, sold.
That's my kind of guy too.
Didn't he have a daughter too? Why are we just talking about Hephaestus?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, that's my fault.
Welcome to Hefcheck.
F-Jack?
All right,
Jack.
so
So the reason that we're on the live stream is that we're having a little detour to the G Village with Gina Talk.
Yeah.
Yuffie makes us all go because he says the word materia, and she thinks, oh, this means they're going to give me lots of materia.
Yeah, and
she's a moron.
And Gina Talk
Well,
is
she's a
like,
kid,
he's
Matt.
like, hey, all of my people, since we can't die,
that's fair, John.
we live in these effigies. Can you go talk to all these effigies? This is where they explain all the stuff with the G and the black materia and all that. And he says,
I don't like those G sorcerers who revive the other ones. You have to interrupt their arise spell.
Yeah, those are the Lancers, I think.
you have to
that revive
kill
other ones,
the. No, it's the sorcerers. You have to kill the G sorcerers because they will arise everything. It's fucking annoying.
Well, I mean, it's a good I like that there's strategy to it because they take 30 seconds or something to raise someone. You have time.
Well, we get to the top, and we leave the Gi behind. We're like, wow, that's crazy. But as soon as Cloud hears the words black materia, he sees Sephiroth, which is a little foreboding.
Yeah, well, every time he sees Sephiroth after this, at least all the times I've experienced, Sephiroth says to him, "Bring me the black materia, puppy."
The first time he says that is like right after this.
Puppy.
He doesn't just say it. He like gets right up in his face and like whispers tenderly in his little ear.
He does.
It's a real
I swear to
Gareth
God,
from Labyrinth thing.
I swear to God, and I say this as a straight man, every time Sephiroth calls Cloud puppy, it kind of sends a tingle down my spine.
Oh, that's getting horny.
It is fucking hot. Like, doesn't matter who you are. That's just hot. Am I wrong?
Was that your blue collar
Jim, I
comedy
should have
bit?
worn
I
this
don't care
shirt
who
yesterday. Jim, should
What?
I have worn this shirt last night?
Oh yeah,
Obviously.
You know
Was
what
that
a
a Fez shirt?
You know what I
No,
noticed?
it's
You know
a
what I noticed
Chrono
today, too?
Trigger shirt.
I have my Chrono Trigger little wall art thing that's right by my desk. I love it.
I want that too. It's real cute.
You should put it on that wall that's directly behind you and in camera.
I should. I just have my We Hate Movies poster on there.
You're
worst
advertising
podcast.
another podcast? Wow.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, really, this village is just a tunnel lore dump, Final Fantasy XIII style, where it's one path with nothing to the sides.
Yeah.
And they tell you it's basically like one of those Disney learning rides where they tell you like, I'm the president of the United States. You know, like,
John, is that what presidents do? Hi, I'm the president of the United
Vanessa,
States.
is that accurate or not?
Absolutely what presidents do.
I haven't seen any of the modern
I'm
ones.
Abraham Lincoln. Quick,
How
quack,
are the
quack.
newer Hall of Presidents? Like, is Trump like, I'm President Trump? Is it, or are they better looking now?
No.
I think Donald Trump's
the
looks
president-
notoriously bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, Donald Trump's looks so notoriously bad that the theory is that it was supposed to be a Hillary Clinton, and then they just kind of pivoted and made it.
It looks terrible. Apparently, he's on the record as saying how much he hates it.
Good.
Yay!
Yeah. So we leave the G cave and we run into Bugenhagen again, and we're talking about the black materia, and he's like, "Oh, I think the G guy says that the black materia is housed in a Cetra temple." And so you tell Bugenhagen that, and he's like, "Well, the Cetra don't really have temples, but they have like important places, and it's probably someplace that's really well
Kate
hidden."
Sith. First, Kate Sith's like, "Oh, we got to get to a computer." And he's like, well, "I know there's a computer right here." And he's like, "Yeah, we turned it into a windmill. You stupid dumb cat."
Stupid cat. And when we go back to Cosmo Canyon, there's people panicking because some black robe guy is at the gate. And when we go see him, he just whispers the word Nibelheim. And so everyone's like, let's go to Nibelheim.
Well, because Kate's this like, "You trust me, don't you?" And Cloud's like, "Of course, I trust everyone because I'm an idiot." And Kate's just like, "Good, because there's going to be one of those terminals in Nibelheim." And Tifa's like, "Well, there was one, but the town burned down, you idiot." But they're going to go. He's like, "Trust me, let's go."
Cool. We get to go to
get some
Nibelheim.
smoke.
That'll be fun.
Yay!
Yeah, and then right at the end of this is where Cloud hears about Nibelheim, and he sees that vision of Sephiroth that sexily says, "Bring me the black materia."
Bring me the black materia.
Are there any side
I think the
quests?
next chunker does some. We talked about them all up front. I think the next chunker does a great job making the Cloud stuff actually kind of uncomfortably creepy. We'll talk
cool.
about it next
I like
week.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time on Square Roots, we will be finishing Chapter 11.
Yay!
Do we get to meet a vampire next time? I'm so excited.
Maybe.
Yes.
Before we get to telling our friends about what we're squarely against... Before we talk about our Patreon, John, what are you squarely against, bud?
I am squarely against doing literally 6 hours of Chadley stuff and then having, as soon as I get to here, Chadley telling me that I haven't done intel in a while. Like, fuck you, Chadley. I spent so much time doing your shit. I'm just moving on. And he got real upset at me. It was an argument. I insulted a child. I swore at a child. So that's how that's why I'm squarely against. What about Matt?
I am squarely against presenting a seminar as a learning opportunity when it is just group therapy. This is some cult-ass behavior. I didn't go into this chunker expecting Planetology to be a cult, and I came out of this chunker hating Planetology. What about you, Jim? What are you squarely against?
I'm squarely against how big and empty that dungeon was. It looked great, but it wasn't very much fun to do.
It kind of had a PS2 vibe to it.
It definitely
felt like
had
Soul Reaver.
It felt like you were gonna have
PS1.
to like push some boxes around or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to push boxes around all the time in this fucking game. It's trash.
That's
It's
true.
the first dungeon we haven't had to push a box
That's
around
very
for.
true. Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
I'm squarely against how monochromatic Cosmo Canyon itself is.
Oh yeah.
If you have ever been to the desert or flown over it or even seen the
On
Grand
a horse
Canyon,
with a no name.
yeah,
Yep.
on a horse or not, or a horse with a name even. There's lots of different color variation. There's pinks, there's whites, and
There's
Cosmo
flora
Canyon's-
and fauna.
There's
And Vanessa
flora and
loves
fauna.
whites. She's on the record. She loves whites.
Whoa.
It's her own words.
I just said there were whites. I didn't say I liked them or disliked them.
You specifically mentioned it in the context of you liking it.
I'm just saying that a little diversity wouldn't hurt this game.
Vanessa
By
sounding
diversity,
like
I mean diversity of color in Cosmo
Mm-hmm.
Canyon, and by diversity of color, I mean colors of rocks.
Linda Moulton Howe, right, Vanessa, from
No.
all your Oh No, Ross and Carrie episodes?
No.
Oh, never mind then.
All right, well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. Before we sign off, I'd like to tell our listeners about our sweet, sweet Patreon. We've had this thing going for a long time, and there's a lot of sweet content on there. Square Roots versus episodes. This month we're
What
talking
were you
about...
squarely against, Jim?
I was squarely against the dungeon, it being big and empty.
Oh, that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on our Patreon, we have lots of great content. Square Roots versus episodes. We've got some movie commentaries.
Breaking news! L.A. Noire now third place in the next game poll. That's right, there's a game poll.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking
Fallout 3, first place. Close, surprisingly close. Well, not that close, but it could win if you all vote. Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, second place.
Yeah!
Oh.
Vote for Vampire!
Third place, L.A. Noire. Fourth place, with 2 votes, System
a
Shock
distant
remake.
fourth. Speaking of Johnny's Hot News, if you are a patron at the $5 level, you have the ability to vote on games that we'll play on the show. At the $3 level, you get access to all the content that we have there. Like I said, a ton of stuff. We've got movie commentary, Square Roots versus one-offs, just about weird random stuff. And this month we are
Instant
playing...
classics where we play brand new games
Yeah.
and then Jim makes us play them again on the show
Yep.
as a main episode game.
We've got Instant Classics, and we've got... this month we're playing Little Gator Game.
Yay!
Little Gamergate.
Little Gamergate.
I can't
Little
wait.
Gamergate.
The art style looks very cute.
It's pretty fun, and the physics in the game are really, really neat.
We
Yeah,
should be
it plays
playing
nice.
Bolt Gun.
It does. So let's see. Another benefit of being... Oh, wait. If you'd like to sign up to be a patron, you can do so at patreon.com/SquareRootsPodcast. Another benefit of being a patron at whatever level you choose to contribute, we'd like to thank some of our patrons on the air. I'm going to start us off this week by thanking Chris, AJL, David Pascal, Gigantified Micro Space Hamster, Huxley Iguana, Jaybird, Worked Muffin, Seth G., Wedge Coon, and Jake Dickerson.
I'd like to thank RP Siege, Wash in the Wind, John Scala, Florian, Jonas Kramer, Pashushu, Butt Cheeks, Tracy, the Borg Queen. T. Bumpkin wishes everyone a Happy New Year from Tickle Crab Island Dew. Josh Rose and Amanda Douglas.
I'd like to thank Do Good Recklessly, my mom. Matt is writing insulting messages about my saintly mother in the show notes. I think you meant
to say Vanessa's fart. Or Vanessa's mom's fart.
Wow. I guess that's me. I came out of her. Hey, it's me, Vivian. Andy Best, Cameron Shoei, Eduardo Franco, Orcus the Great, John B. Quaker Oatman, Arthur A., and...
I'd like to thank Andy Smith, Chris Penyak, Fei Fong Dong, Loafing Around, Nofford, Sergeant Spaghetti, Ron, Cyril the Wolf, Aroo! Keys V. Knight, and Matt, I'm doing the apostrophe there, Jorgensen.
All right, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you would like to have an email read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or B-skeet at us at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
I gotta get the login for that account so I can start pretending to be Vanessa in a problematic manner.
That's
absolutely.
Your next B-skeet should be about how Billy Joel was the first rapper.
Oh, God, I'm not writing that. Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Squirts theme. You can find Stephen on YouTube. Links are in those little baby show notes.
All right, for this episode of Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matt Guy Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
Vanessa.
Bye.
She made it the whole way through.
Good
Great job, Vanessa.
Thanks. Barely.
Woof. That's a bear joke. Bye.
Last time on Square Roots, Cloud goes gaga for terrible music. We learn that reactors are only for boys. And later, Square presents us with its very own version of Would You Eat This Bird? Say goodnight, Pipperly!
Nice winging it, Vanessa. Though I'm a little disappointed that you didn't mention Tifa being in a whale's tummy.
Oh, right.
Tifa in the belly of a whale. Tifa in the belly of a whale. Everybody roll.
What? What?
Hey, Jim,
Girl,
you don't
put
have
your
to wear
headphones
Dickie
on.
shirts anymore.
Oh,
Okay? You don't work for them.
It's an old.
They can't make you do
it's
this.
an old shirt, and I was sitting by a fire earlier, so I knew it was gonna stink. So I wore the Dickies one.
You know, it's like
Jim and his
super
stinky
trendy
Dickie shirt.
for young gays to wear Carhartt stuff now.
It's hip for lots of youngsters to wear Carhartt.
Oh.
Hey,
But isn't
John,
the guy who owns it really
young
Trumpy?
gays can follow just general fashion, you know?
Well, maybe we set fashion. Okay, I'm not young. Maybe they set fashion, Matthew.